starts tomorrow at a selected theater near you.
Live from JFK Stadium in Philadelphia, USA. From Wembley Stadium in London, England. The Live Aid Concert. Welcome to the worldwide Live Aid Concert. I'm George Siegel in Philadelphia, and I'm here to welcome you to something more than a television show. As of this moment, we're being seen in 60 nations throughout the world. We can be seen on 85% of all the television sets on the planet, and we can be heard on 75% of all the radios on the planet. We welcome you to a massive, totally unprecedented coming together of all the peoples of our world in support of our neighbors in Africa.
We've come together today to make a simple and powerful statement that all men are our brothers, that all women are our sisters, and especially that all children are our children. When one of us suffers, as millions today are suffering in Africa, then we all suffer. And as is the custom in families everywhere, we extend our helping hand. We lift them up until they can stand on their own. And we don't do this because we feel guilt, and certainly not because we feel pity. We do it simply because that's the kind of people that we are.
And so, for the next 16 hours, we'll all be enjoying what can only be characterized as the hottest acts in music today.
And they are Crosby, Stills and Nash, Tom Petty, Sting with Phil Collins and Julian Lennon, Bryan Adams, you know who Bryan Adams is? Oh, all right. Eric Clapton, the Beach Boys, Wham, and much more.
They're all performing free, not only for African famine relief, but also in support of an even larger purpose.
Buenos dias, I am Cesar Chavez. For most of my life, I have been dedicated to improving the lives and the living conditions of the underprivileged. It is a very hard day-to-day battle, and it sometimes appears hopeless. People used to think it was hopeless that millions of people die every year of starvation, but it is not hopeless. Hunger can end for all people everywhere in the world. To me, if you have a problem as big as world hunger, and you have everything you need to solve it, not solving it is more than a sin. It is a crime against humanity. Together, we can end hunger. It is more than a cause or a belief. It's a fact.
Maybe you've heard that the food's sitting on the docks in Africa and not getting to the people. Or perhaps you've heard that the money goes into some big bureaucrat's pocket. Maybe you're feeling like the famine is too big a problem, that any contribution you make is just a drop in the bucket. A drop in the bucket. Right now, the African famine is taking its toll on 150 million people, with 13 million in immediate danger of dying. 13 million people. Sometimes it does seem too big to handle. But the fact is, you are making an impact, and we mustn't let up now. Although tons of food are getting through, a lot more is needed. And after the relief effort, Africa will need tools and seed and the technology to dig wells. We have to end this famine in Africa in a way that ends famine in Africa forever. Maybe you think your contribution is just a drop in the bucket. But drops in a bucket are putting an end to the most powerful drought in history. We do make a difference, one at a time, and together with the Africans, we will win. And they won't have to go hungry or thirsty ever again.
Ending hunger. Now that we can, we must.
Well, this is it. The time to stand up and be counted. If you want to see the famine in Africa end, if you want to see those children and their parents put their lives back together again, then get on that phone. The end of this famine begins with the commitment of one person, And that one person is you. Money is needed right now for food and medical supplies. So the most important thing you can do is call or write and make a donation. Here's how.
To make a donation, dial 800-LIVE-AID. That's 800-LIVE-AID. You can use Visa or MasterCard. For check or money order, we're the Live Aid Foundation, P.O. Box 7800, San Francisco, California, 94120. If the lines are busy, please keep trying. We guarantee every dollar given by the public will go to Africa.
Hello. I'm Mike Mitchell, the executive producer of this show. Today, each of you holds the balance of life and death delicately in your hearts. It's simply a matter of your will. Each of you has power. Each of you is important. Each of you can do anything you believe. Live today with your heart. Live today as if it were your last. Live today with all the passion and faith that we know we are capable of.
Reach out and touch someone whose only hope is you. Reach out and give a helping hand. Wherever you are, you're never too far from someone you can reach out to. Reach out and touch someone. Your love can reach around the world. People who need so much cry for the feeling of your touch. You know what love can do, coming from you. Reach out and touch someone. Reach out and show how much you care. Reach out and touch someone. Your love.
Hi, this is Marilyn McCoo. I'm George Siegel, and we're back here live in Philadelphia.
And boy, is this ever exciting. You know, the Live Aid concert is the brainchild of Bob Geldof. You've just gotten a taste of Bob's music, and now we have a special taped message from Bob.
Well, it's kind of, look, when I see Philly and I see here and I see the concert in Sydney, because they're going for 12 hours before us, so you've got 67 bands in 28 hours, you kind of think, well, yes, indeed, it may have been hyperbole, but on this one day, indeed we are the world. And on this one day, yes, indeed, we can feed the world. So that's what I think, that it's the two most famous Band Aid type songs. The central theme of both is made tangible on this one day. And it's not just the pop bands. We have the heads of states coming on, Rajiv Gandhi, Nyerere from Tanzania, Mengistu from Ethiopia. We've got Coretta King, people who are either pertinent to the situation or who've got moral courage or who've got gravitas. People who mean something. So the tone of the thing, we will never let people forget. But, of course, there's 20 satellites up there. There's a Concorde jetting across with bands from Britain to play at the same time in Philadelphia. There's 169 countries, 1.5 billion people watching the exact same thing. There's a family in Novosibirsk in East Siberia and a family in Boise, Idaho, watching the same thing at the same time on the same day, experiencing and enjoying the same emotions. And you kind of say, well, these families are supposed to be unfriendly to each other. How spurious is that unfriendliness? How ridiculous are the politics that make them unfriendly? When they can sit down and enjoy the same thing and have the same morality that prompts them to help. So it's a romantic idea too, but it's pragmatic, because I'm not an idealist, I'm a pragmatist. There's a problem. What is it? People are dying. Dying of what? Starvation. How do you prevent that? You get them food. How do you get food? You get them money. How do you get the money? You come up with an idea for it.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. If you tuned in today to see a rock concert benefiting African famine relief, You may be surprised to hear us talking about ending world hunger.
What you're seeing is a massive worldwide event. It's a 10-hour concert that's already underway in London, and a 14-hour concert is going to begin shortly here in Philadelphia. We're going to be switching back and forth between the two countries.
In addition, we'll be going to Japan for parts of their concert. So that's Europe, North America, and Asia. We'll also show you highlights of last night's concert in Australia, our fourth continent of origin.
So, you know, this is really a huge cooperative global event, and its purpose is global as well.
As bad as the crisis is in Africa, the problem of hunger is not limited to Africa. Worldwide, from 13 to 18 million of us die from hunger every year. So we must stop the disaster in Africa, but we must also address the horrible Holocaust of hunger in the rest of the world. And that's what this day is all about.
That's right. We're going to be talking about how this can be done later. But right now, we're going to present the Australian branch of our Global Families performance from their concert completed only hours ago. We're going to see Men at Work.
Live Aid. We're coming together.
If we could understand only one thing, why the cells of all the organs of the human being work all together in order to maintain health and vitality for the whole body, we would know what universal brotherhood is. The stomach doesn't digest for itself, but for the whole body. The lungs don't breathe only for themselves. The heart beats to send the blood to every part of the body. Instead, if separativity, hostility, and isolation take place, it is anarchy and cancer. This campaign against hunger and famine will save the world.
We all have dreams. From this day forward, our dreams of a world without hunger begin to come true. We have more than the vision. We have everything it takes. We just need to do it. We must always remember, she will never forget.
Ending hunger. Now that we can, we must.
What's the hardest choice you have to make each morning? What shirt to wear, what to have for breakfast? Imagine being a drought-stricken African mother or father and having to choose which of your children will get food and which will be allowed to die. Don't waste your valuable time on pity. They don't need your pity. They need food, and you can get it to them. In that parent's torment, make your phone call now or send your donation, and here's how.
To make your pledge, dial 800-LIVE-AID. Give $15 or more and get a Live Aid pin. $25 or more and get a Live Aid t-shirt. You can use Visa, MasterCard, check, or money order. We're the Live Aid Foundation, P.O. Box 7800, San Francisco, California, 94120. We guarantee every dollar given by the public will go to Africa. Call now. Dial 800-LIVE-AID. If the lines are busy, keep trying.
The Four Seasons Hotel in Philadelphia has donated facilities and accommodations as their contribution to African famine relief.
We're getting ready here in Philadelphia for our half of the Live Aid concert. Marilyn?
We invite you today to lend your heart and your voice to this great endeavor. Last night, our friends in Australia did the same, and right now we're going to rejoin them. The Little River Band.
Yeah.
Live Aid. We're coming together.
私はソニーの森田明夫です。スペースシャトルから見た地球は素晴らしいです。この素晴らしい地球に住めるのは本当に幸せなことだと思います。このような地球が見えるようになったのには努力による大変な技術の発展があったと思います。私たちも小さな会社を始めて世界中の人たちに愛してもらう製品を作るために大変な勇気と努力を重ねてまいりました。今世界にはやはり苦しんでおる人がたくさんあります。この人たちを救うために私たちは精一杯努力と勇気を持って戦っていきたいと思います。
What will it take to end the famine in Africa?
Food and water. And tents and clothing. Doctors and medicine. And trucks. And mechanics and spare parts. Gasoline and oil. But relief alone is not enough. As we overcome the famine, a program of recovery must begin. Recovery means seed and tools, technology, and the education to use them. Schools, teachers, and books. Wells and irrigation. But are relief and recovery enough? No. The ultimate goal of relief and recovery is self-sufficiency, self-reliance, thriving villages and farms, healthy families, healthy livestock, strong communities, and vigorous markets.
In the words of Federico Garcia Lorca, the day that hunger is eradicated from the face of the earth, there will be the greatest spiritual explosion the world has ever known. Humanity cannot imagine the joy that will burst into the world on the day of that great revolution.
Ending hunger. Now that we can, we must.
13 million people are hanging by a thread right now. If they don't get food and medical supplies, they will die in the next several weeks. The price tag to rescue them from this famine is $1.5 billion. But if everyone watching this show would give just $1, then we could end this famine. But there's no time left to think about it. You've got to act now. So give generously and don't waste another second. Write to us or call. And here's how.
To make your pledge, dial 800-LIVE-AID. We've got thousands of operators ready to take your call. If the lines are busy, please keep trying. The number is 800-LIVE-AID. We guarantee every dollar given by the public will go to Africa. Call now.
Coming up, we'll kick off the Philadelphia concert with a symbol of rock's connection to human equality, Miss Joan Baez.
The Live Aid concert will continue in just a moment.
Reach out and touch someone whose only hope is you. Reach out and give a helping hand. Wherever you are, you're never too far from someone you can reach out to. Reach out and touch someone. Your love can reach around the world. People who need so much cry for the feeling of your touch. You know what love can do coming from you. Reach out and touch someone. Reach out and show how much you care. Reach out and touch someone. Your love.
We'll be back here in Philadelphia in just a few seconds. Oh, we're here now?
Here in Philadelphia. Where are we? Welcome back to the Live Aid concert. We're getting ready to start our portion of the concert now, and we're going to go on stage. I believe we're going to Bill Graham, who is the... Oh, okay. All right, great. Okay, you know, in the next 60 seconds, 28 people are going to die of hunger. 21 of them are going to be children, and this is the real atrocity of our world. For you to be involved is literally a matter of life and death. That's the fact that moved Bob Geldof to form the original Band-Aid project.
And although it was Bob's idea to form a band and release a video single to aid the starving people in Africa, it took hundreds of people to put the whole thing together. There were technicians, engineers, administrators, marketing people, all donating their services. And of course, there were some musicians. Some of England's best played in the band, including Paul Young, Wham, and Duran Duran. And let's go to Jack Nicholson live on our stage now.
Good morning, Philadelphia. Say hello to the world. Thank you for that. It's a privilege on behalf of all of the artists who will perform for you today, and on behalf of the international family of artists whose spirit they represent, to welcome you to the Live Aid concert for African famine relief. I'm proud to be a part of this event with you, this effort to help lift the misery of hunger from the innocent people of our world. It's my great pleasure to introduce to you a woman who's always been heard whose voice has always been heard when a just cause needed her song. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present with you and please welcome the incomparable Joan Baez. Thank you very much.
Live Aid. We're coming together.
Hi, my name is Teddy Kennedy Jr. World hunger is a very complex problem, but its solution, I think, is very simple. I had the chance to visit the camps in Ethiopia and the Sudan over Christmas with my family, and I saw the wide distribution of food and medicine taking place. Certainly there are thousands that really need our food and shelter and support, but I can attest to the fact that kids are being fed, supplies are arriving, and the response, not only in our country, from around the world, has been phenomenal. People really can make a difference in this world. It's something that my family really believes in. And I would encourage all of you to do your part in helping the problem of the world's hunger.
In the struggle to end hunger, we're making some headway. For example,
in Senegal, women have organized themselves into farming groups. They're pooling their knowledge and resources to grow food collectively and then sell the surplus. In the Ramsa village in Burkina Faso in Africa, 15 wells have changed the people's lives. They can continue to grow food during the 6-month dry season and are not tempted to move away. Hundreds of nearby villagers now visit Ramsa to observe and bring home the knowledge of what they saw. When residents of Nyundo village in Zimbabwe, Africa, decided to construct their own school, they set the tuition for each student at 2,000 bricks, all to be made by hand. The bricks were used to construct the school building. This, they say, is a way to demonstrate their own responsibility for the success of the school. When people from other villages saw the school being built, they began to think that they could also do that for their children. They came from far away to learn how it was done and to get ideas.
so there are ways to end hunger. And every little victory brings us closer to the day when no one will go without.
Ending hunger. Now that we can, we must.
Did you know that Africa's empty farmlands, if properly developed, can feed the entire continent and all of Western Europe as well? The people of drought-stricken Africa need your help to get going again. They know the potential and they're up for the challenge. But in this crisis, we must help keep them alive. They are mothers, they are fathers, they are children, and they're counting on you. Please call or send your donation. Here's how.
To make your pledge, dial 800-LIVE-AID. We've got thousands of operators ready to take your call. If the lines are busy, please keep trying. The number is 800-LIVE-AID. We guarantee every dollar given by the public will go to Africa. Call now.
reach out and touch someone, someone whose only hope is you. Reach out and give a helping hand. Wherever you are, you're never too far from someone you can reach out to. Reach out and touch someone. Your love can reach around the world. People who need so much cry for the feeling of your touch. You know what love can do coming from you. Reach out and touch someone. Reach out and show how much you care. Reach out and touch someone. Your love.
Welcome back. We're here in Philadelphia for the Live Aid concert. The perfect place to host a coming together of the people of our world. It's called the City of Brotherly Love for the concept of spiritual freedom on which it was based.
Can't help dancing to our heartbeat and singing to our song. Soon you're moving to our rhythm. Come on along. Philadelphia. Get to know us. See what people who believe in the power of each other can do. Get to know us.
And now we're going to go to Bill Connolly and Nick Kershaw live at Wembley Stadium in London.
Yeah. The Live Aid concert is just one of the countless efforts in action to bring relief to the famine victims of Africa.
It's a great demonstration of empathy without martyrdom. You know, so many other events have been put together to raise money, not only for the people of Africa, but for hungry people all over the world. And this event, actually, these event participators have raised money and felt the satisfaction of reaching out. And they've had a good time to boot.
For instance, Lawrence Central School in New York launched a fundraiser for African famine relief, which included several activities. They put on a dance, a staff student volleyball game, and put together a slideshow presentation.
Yeah, from garage sales to car wash parties to group organizations, 10K runs, and right on down to rock concerts. All of these things really count. And those are just a few suggestions of what you might do in order to fight to save the hungry.
Live Aid is getting back underway now with a guy who is relatively new to success. Nick Kershaw has been recording music since 1980, and in the last 18 months he's jumped into the spotlight. Nick's brand new single, Wouldn't It Be Good, is moving up the charts. We join him now in London.
Nick Kershaw!
Live Aid. We're coming together.
Rebecca Holden. My husband and I are actively involved in the world hunger issue. We've been to Africa and seen the ravaging effects of hunger. And we're initiating programs to overcome this devastating problem. Due to the worldwide downturn in the oil industry, there exists an abundance of drilling equipment sitting idle. We wondered why these same drilling rigs couldn't be used to drill for water in Africa. Well, they can. Rigs are being prepared today for shipment to drought-stricken regions all over Ethiopia and the Sudan, which will bring fresh, clean water to hundreds of thousands. Being in the oil business, my husband has found a way to apply his area of expertise to the job of ending hunger. You can do the same thing. The world's hungry deserve to be self-reliant, and self-sufficient. We can all become partners with them in making this happen. Think about what you can do, and do what you can. Thank you.
This is the moment you've been waiting for. This is the moment to do what's never been done before. This is the moment to take the world by the hand and lead it into realms we've only dreamed about. We've been heading in that direction for a long time now. Many agencies have been focusing their efforts on Africa, but now we need more help, more supplies, more development and education than ever before. We need to make sure that our governments, African and from around the world, continue to supply experts, money, and provisions. Individuals like you and me must continue to volunteer more time, more energy, more money, and more talent. All this support is working with the largest force of all, the hungry people themselves. They're doing the work, holding the vision, knowing that when it all comes together, there'll be a surge of energy so powerful that nothing can stop it. Hunger hasn't ended yet, so we can't afford to let up. But this is the moment, and we are the generation that can do it. We're the generation that will do it, and the moment is now. Ending hunger. Now that we can, we must.
In the next few weeks, 13 million people could die in Africa unless we help. Your money is needed right now to stop this horror. How much can you give? How much would you give to see a concert with groups like you're seeing today? The cost of that ticket can save lives. There is nothing so sorrowful as a mother's cry for the life of her baby. Help dry her tears. Make a donation. Here's how.
To make a donation, dial 800-LIVE-AID. That's 800-LIVE-AID. You can use Visa or MasterCard. For check or money order, we're the Live Aid Foundation, P.O. Box 7800, San Francisco, California, 94120. If the lines are busy, please keep trying. We guarantee every dollar given by the public will go to Africa.
Welcome back to Philadelphia. Ending hunger is a very complicated matter. To try to tell you the specifics of methods and techniques would take days. What we can tell you is what it would cost.
Well, the experts say that a coordinated world effort using solutions that have been proven in various areas around the world would cost $25 billion a year until the end of the century.
That sounds like a lot of money. However, $25 billion is less than 3 days' worth of the U.S. gross national product.
It's only 15 days worth of the world's annual military expenditure, and it's $10 per person in the non-hungry countries. So maybe $25 billion isn't so much after all, huh?
The thing is, the experts also say that hunger is one of the most dangerous causes of discontent, unrest, and violence in the world today. That means that, well, it means that until we make our world safe for all of us, it won't be safe for any of us.
So, today we have gathered a lot of the talented people in the world who really care about what's happening to the starving people in Africa. And right now we're going to go into Holland. We have a live satellite link, and this is just one of the many complexities of today's show. We're linked up by satellite with Wembley Stadium, which in turn is linked up to the BBC in London, which in turn is linking up with the concert in Holland. We're going to B.B. King right now in Holland.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Live Aid. We're coming together.
I'm holding lessons and I'm a singer now. But before, when I was very young, I used to play football for Real Madrid. Real Madrid was not a bad team in Spain in that time. Until a day then I had an accident and I almost died. The doctors thought that I would never walk again. It took a lot of my life to show the doctors that they were wrong. And now I'm here. The starving people in Africa, they think there is not hope for them. But I know they can recover, like I did, with our help. But they cannot do it anymore. I has to be right now. How? Join all together and fight for the hungry all over the world. We just wait for you right now. Thank you.
I think hunger could be helped a lot if everybody gave a little.
I think one of the problems of world hunger is
education.
The effective use of birth control.
If you can't help your brother,
Everybody's problem.
Kids can help.
you can't help nobody. You can't even help yourself.
famine and hunger, prayer, use of the land.
Long-term solutions.
Technology.
Money, truth.
If the problem of hunger seems overwhelming, here's the plain truth. Hunger has been ending on every continent since the beginning of this century. In fact, 84 countries have ended hunger as a basic issue since 1900. And they've done it using all kinds of methods under every type of government. And in spite of one of the most catastrophic droughts in history, experts tell us that even in Africa, hunger can be eliminated. Hunger is ending. And there are many reasons, many philosophies, many solutions. But one thing is certain. You and I are taking part in one of mankind's greatest achievements, the eradication of hunger from the face of this earth. Ending hunger. Now that we can, we must.
We're in a race against time. Soon the rains will come to Africa and bring even more misery. For when the rains start, poor dirt roads will wash away, supplies will be halted, cholera and dysentery will spread, and lifeless people will vanish before our eyes. But we can help get supplies to these people in time. If you haven't contributed already, then call her right now. And if you have made a donation, then call a friend and ask them to give something. We're all in this together, and we can all help. Here's how.
To make your pledge, dial 800-LIVE-AID. Give $15 or more and get a Live Aid pin. $25 or more and get a Live Aid t-shirt. You can use Visa, MasterCard, check, or money order. We're the Live Aid Foundation, P.O. Box 7800, San Francisco, California, 94120. We guarantee every dollar given by the public will go to Africa. Call now. Dial 800-LIVE-AID. If the lines are busy, keep trying.
The Live Aid concert will continue in just a moment. Please stay tuned. Coming up, the reunion of Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath.
Yeah!
We'll be back with more Live Aid concert after these messages from your local station.
Live Aid. We're coming together.
I'm Geraldine Ferraro. When I was 8 years old, my father died. My mother was left on her own. Her life and our lives were tough, but what we faced was little compared to what millions of women and children in poverty face today. Each morning they wake up to hunger. Each night they sleep in despair. Their struggle is not to advance, but to survive. Today I have children of my own. I know the joy of bringing new life into the world and the pleasure of babies who grow strong and healthy. But a mother's love and hard work aren't enough. Stopping hunger takes all of our help. The tragedy of hunger must be ended. It hasn't been because we haven't made it a big enough priority. It's time to change that. Ending hunger is more than a matter of saving African families. It's a matter of saving our own humanity. I hope you will help.
In the struggle to end hunger, we're making some headway. For example,
In Senegal, women have organized themselves into farming groups. They're pooling their knowledge and resources to grow food collectively and then sell the surplus. In the Ramsa village in Burkina Faso in Africa, 15 wells have changed the people's lives. They can continue to grow food during the 6-month dry season and are not tempted to move away. Hundreds of nearby villagers now visit Ramsa to observe and bring home the knowledge of what they saw. When residents of Nyundo village in Zimbabwe, Africa, decided to construct their own school, they set the tuition for each student at 2,000 bricks, all to be made by hand. The bricks were used to construct the school building. This, they say, is a way to demonstrate their own responsibility for the success of the school. When people from other villages saw the school being built, they began to think that they could also do that for their children. They came from far away to learn how it was done and to get ideas.
So there are ways to end hunger, and every little victory brings us closer to the day when no one will go without.
Ending hunger. Now that we can, we must.
In the next few weeks, 13 million people could die in Africa unless we help. Your money is needed right now to stop this horror. How much can you give? How much would you give to see a concert with groups like you're seeing today? The cost of that ticket can save lives. There is nothing so sorrowful as a mother's cry for the life of her baby. Help dry her tears. Make a donation. Here's how.
To make your pledge, dial 800-LIVE-AID. We've got thousands of operators ready to take your call. If the lines are busy, please keep trying. The number is 800-LIVE-AID. We guarantee every dollar given by the public will go to Africa. Call now.
Hi, we're back with Live Aid. We're going to go into a really special performance now. This is a performance from an artist who couldn't be with us live in person. However, he did a great video. This is a song called For the Tears in Your Eyes by Prince.
All right.
Welcome back to Live Aid. Throughout the day, we've been giving you easy, quick hunger facts. Right now, we'd like to tell you about one quick fact about progress. Did you know that as of today, almost 6 million people have received assistance through 287 distribution centers in Ethiopia alone? Well, that's one quick fact about progress. So why don't you think about it?
Yes, ma'am. Our efforts are working. And we need to keep up the good work. Okay, it's time to get back into the concert. You know, virtually every genre of popular music is represented here today. Yet there's a common influence in all of them. The Motown sound.
The Motown bunch include people like Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Diana Ross and the Supremes, and the late Marvin Gaye. And our next act was and is a big part of the Motown sound. The Four Tops were all over the place with hits like I Can't Help Myself, Reach Out, and Bernadette. They've brought their bright harmonies and familiar dance steps to the Live Aid stage in Philadelphia, the Four Tops.
We'll be back with more Live Aid concert after these messages from your local station. So we're back in Philadelphia. Here's a trio who've taken social and environmental issues right into the lyrics of their songs. Furthermore, they not only sing of civil rights and human equality, Crosby, Stills, and Nash have taken action toward that end. They've played numerous benefit concerts and have made personal contributions of time, money, and work in their communities.
Before coming together as a threesome, David Crosby and Stephen Stills were part of a band that's considered to be one of the best of the 60s, the Buffalo Springfield. When they joined with Graham Nash to form CSN, they put out hits like Teach Your Children and Sweet Judy Blue Eyes. Some consider the folk harmonies of CSN unmatched, and indeed, they interweave their voices in sweet sync to produce a sound that's unquestionably Crosby, Stills, and Nash. The Live Aid concert will continue in just a moment. We're back with Live Aid and more Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Live Aid. We're coming together.
The international community and the African governments, while addressing the immediate problem of hunger and famine, have at the same time to address the major problem of African agriculture and therefore the African underdevelopment. Until we deal with that problem, we will have a recurring problem of famine and hunger. And we will rely upon relief. And this is not a question of relief, this is a question of development. And therefore the appeal which has to be made is of two types. One, the immediate one. Food must be provided for the people who are starving. But the second appeal that has to be made is that resources for agricultural development and general development in Africa has to be provided.
Maybe you've heard that the food's sitting on the docks in Africa and not getting to the people. Or perhaps you've heard that the money goes into some big bureaucrat's pocket. Maybe you're feeling like the famine is too big a problem, that any contribution you make is just a drop in the bucket. A drop in the bucket. Right now, the African famine is taking its toll on 150 million people, with 13 million in immediate danger of dying. 13 million people. Sometimes it does seem too big to handle. But the fact is you are making an impact, and we mustn't let up now. Although tons of food are getting through, a lot more is needed. And after the relief effort, Africa will need tools and seed and the technology to dig wells. We have to end this famine in Africa in a way that ends famine in Africa forever. Maybe you think your contribution is just a drop in the bucket. The drops in a bucket are putting an end to the most powerful drought in history. We do make a difference, one at a time, and together with the Africans, we will win. And they won't have to go hungry or thirsty ever again.
Ending hunger. Now that we can, we must.
We're in a race against time. Soon the rains will come to Africa and bring even more misery. For when the rains start, poor dirt roads will wash away, supplies will be halted, cholera and dysentery will spread, and lifeless people will vanish before our eyes. But we can help get supplies to these people in time. If you haven't contributed already, then call her right now. And if you have made a donation, then call a friend and ask them to give something. We're all in this together, and we can all help. Here's how.
To make a donation, dial 800-LIVE-AID. That's 800-LIVE-AID. You can use Visa or MasterCard. For check or money order, we're the Live Aid Foundation, P.O. Box 7800, San Francisco, California, 94120. If the lines are busy, please keep trying. We guarantee every dollar given by the public will go to Africa.
We'll be back with more Live Aid concert after these messages from your local station.
Hi, I'm Bette Midler, and we're back here in Philadelphia, where Tom Petty is going to thrill us with his own particular brand of American rock and roll. Take it away, Tom. The Live Aid concert will continue in just a moment. We'll be back with more Live Aid after this. Now let's go back to Tom Petty live on stage.
Live Aid. We're coming together.
Hi, I'm Mike Farrell. In a refugee camp in El Salvador in 1983, after seeing too many horrifying sights, I was emotionally wiped out and simply had to leave, head back to the truck. On my way back across the compound, I saw a little boy, 10 years old, standing, looking at me, holding a rubber ball. I stopped and held out my hands, and he threw me the ball, and I threw it back. He threw it back, I threw it back. And then another little boy came and stood beside him, and he got in on the game. Within about 10 seconds, there was a semicircle around me of 40 children to whom I was throwing this ball, one at a time, back and forth. We didn't share a language. We didn't share any common history. What we shared was a human experience, the like of which I will never forget. What we give when we give is important, but what we get is something that's difficult to describe. Ending world hunger is within our grasp. All you need to do is give.
We all have dreams. From this day forward, our dreams of a world without hunger begin to come true. We have more than the vision. We have everything it takes. We just need to do it. We must always remember, she will never forget.
Ending hunger. Now that we can, we must.
Did you know that Africa's empty farmlands, if properly developed, can feed the entire continent and all of Western Europe as well? The people of drought-stricken Africa need your help to get going again. They know the potential and they're up for the challenge. But in this crisis, we must help keep them alive. They are mothers, they are fathers, they are children, and they're counting on you. Please call or send your donation. Here's how.
To make your pledge, dial 800-LIVE-AID. Give $15 or more and get a Live Aid pin. $25 or more and get a Live Aid t-shirt. You can use Visa, MasterCard, check, or money order. With the Live Aid Foundation, P.O. Box 7800, San Francisco, California, 94120. We guarantee every dollar given by the public will go to Africa. Call now. Dial 800-LIVE-AID. If the lines are busy, keep trying.
We'll be back with more Live Aid Concert after these messages from your local station. London has come to the end of their part of Live Aid, and we have to take our hats off to Bob Geldof. He's the founder of Band Aid, the heart of Live Aid, and our inspiration to feed the world. Here's a special tape from Bob Geldof.
Hi, this is Bob Geldof. Finally, it's Live Aid Day. I mean, you've probably been hearing about it for a few weeks. I've been hearing about it for 6 months, and tomorrow I'll be able to take the phone off the hook and disappear. But today, I want to ask you, please, please, to help. Not us, but 130 million people who are dying. Now, this show is coming to your home. It's also going to the countries in Africa who are dying on their feet. You're sitting at home and you're probably there with a can of beer and some popcorn or some sandwiches or whatever. They're there, and they're lying on a cold desert with no clothing, no water, no food, no sign of any food, and they're going to die. And they're going to die in the most degrading and the most painful way that human beings can die. And it strikes me that in a world of surplus, the most pointless death of all is starvation. Today, you can do something about that. You and millions of people around the world, not just in America, but in Russia, in Eastern Europe, in Asia, in Africa, millions are watching this, and they're getting the same appeal. Please, all of you, give us your money. It's as simple as that. The only reason that these guys are playing is for you to give some money to help keep people alive. And if you accept that we are the world, and today, indeed, we are the world because we're linking the whole world with electronics, then this is a good day maybe to feed the world.
Here's Rick Springfield.
Live Aid. We're coming together.
Hello, my name is Pele. I have been dedicated all my life on the football soccer. I traveling all over the world. I meet people. I have see different kind of life. And I swear, right now, 13 million people are in the balance in Africa. Let's help those people. If we help them, we will be the greatest victory of the humanity. This will be our World Cup. Let's pray together and help the people in Africa.
What will it take to end the famine in Africa?
Food and water. And tents and clothing. Doctors and medicine. And trucks. And mechanics and spare parts. Gasoline and oil. But relief alone is not enough. As we overcome the famine, a program of recovery must begin. Recovery means seed and tools, technology, and the education to use them. Schools, teachers, and books. Wells and irrigation. But are relief and recovery enough? No. The ultimate goal of relief and recovery is self-sufficiency, self-reliance, thriving villages and farms, healthy families, healthy livestock, strong communities, and vigorous markets.
In the words of Federico Garcia Lorca, the day that hunger is eradicated from the face of the earth, there will be the greatest spiritual explosion the world has ever known. Humanity cannot imagine the joy that will burst into the world on the day of that great revolution.
Ending hunger. Now that we can, we must.
Imagine yourself with no home, no food, no water. Imagine watching your children die, one at a time, not millions, just one at a time, slowly, painfully. Imagine your outrage at knowing that they could be saved if food could get there in time. Imagine how you would feel knowing there was nothing you could do about it. You know what to do. Call in or send a donation. We're waiting because they're waiting.
To make your pledge, dial 800-LIVE-AID. We've got thousands of operators ready to take your call. If the lines are busy, please keep trying. The number is 800-LIVE-AID. We guarantee every dollar given by the public will go to Africa. Call now.
Okay, we're heading back to the concert. Taking the stage is a band best known for their high-style videos. In fact, the Cars won the Best Video of the Year at MTV's first annual awards ceremonies last year. The video, you might think, stands out as one of the best special effects videos, and the single went all the way to #1. Live Aid welcomes the Cars.
Hello, I'm Mike Mitchell, executive producer of this show. Hundreds of people have worked around the clock, worldwide, for several months to put this show together for you. And now we have a simple request. Stop and sit back quietly. Let the music and the energy of the day fall away. Take this moment. It's yours to listen to yourself, to hear a world crying out for a helping friend.
Coverage of the Live Aid concert will continue through the evening for most of the country and around the world. But now we are ready to say goodnight to the people on the East Coast. For those of you who are still trying to get through on the telephones, please keep trying. Your response has been so wonderful, and we really need your help. You can call until midnight tonight. The number is 1-800-LIVE-AID. The day is not over. The magic has just begun. The executive producers of Live Aid are Michael C. Mitchell and Hal Uplinger. The executive director, Tony Verna. Producer of the syndicated network feed, Jim Silman. The directors are Ken Shapiro and Scott Kane. God bless you, Scott. This is Live Aid. Feed the world.